if you're wounded, your survivability rate is better than 98%. My name is Tom Coffin. On 15 June of 2007, I was struck by 4 rounds from an AK-47. I was treated by the medic with our unit, medevaced to Baghdad, and it is what you're doing here at Global Medic, all of this training, that will take over when you're in the field working on people like me.
Global Medic is sponsored by the Chief of the Army Reserve. We have been extraordinarily successful in the current war because we've partnered in our delivery of health care between the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force. And we've recognized that there's things that we do differently, and the place to learn these is not in front of an actual casualty. The place to learn these is in these kind of environments.
Whenever we get a 9-line medevac call, our aircraft are deployed here from Bushfield, sent over to pick up in various places on Fort Gordon in different LZs. From the 9-line medevac, we're given all of our pertinent information as far as how many people, where we're going, and everything that's required of us. At that point, we're instructed on where to take the people, either to the cache or massive, depending on where their final destination is.
Our patient flow is the same in any regular hospital, where they come from point of injury and they're treated with the fast team, or they're picked up with an ambulance through the emergency triage system, the emergency room, operations, and then they're transferred out. What difference is, a theater commander may have a 72-hour window, where a trauma in the civilian sector, you may have a trauma patient in the hospital 10 to 14 days.
You can learn a lot of this stuff in a book, but the book doesn't show you everything. You've got to know how you're going to react when you see blood on a patient. These patients come in and they're moulaged up, they're missing limbs. How are you going to react when you see that for the first time in country? This is the closest you're going to get to that. That's where the rubber meets the road on this. That's what makes the difference. That's how these medics know that when they get in country, they are going to give our soldiers the best care.
This exercise was initiated by the Army, and they have been gracious enough to include us in their exercise. And by doing that, they have really filled our desert mission, what we do in the desert, because that's what happens. The Air Force will fly in and pick them up, and then we'll carry them on the rest of the mission to launch, duel, etc. And so we come in here, do some pre-training on medical training, equipment training, and then we get out there and we fly the missions for the air evac portion.
The primary mission here is to transport medevac patients from ship to shore and shore to ship. So we're going to provide the transport of the patients and to allow the personnel to have experience offloading and unloading the patients onto the helicopter.
A patient comes into the casualty receiving unit. Initially there's an immediate triage that's done right at the elevators, and then they're brought into a series of different bays that we have here in the casualty receiving unit.
We got an amputee, he's bleeding, right stop. Gunshot wound, actively bleeding. We got something.
All right. Good job. He's doing bad. He's doing bad.
Fantastic. What do we got?
One, two, three.
Got this. We exit the back.
Exit one of the back.
Yeah. In the room, we got to start CPR. Let's go.
Here we go. Bring him into the OR.
As the patient comes in, we will do what we would normally do in the OR. They will be brought into the room, turned over to anesthesia, and we'll do our part as nurses to get the patient ready for surgery and do whatever surgery is necessary to take care of the patient.
If we receive a patient from the OR, what we'll receive most likely is directly from the OR instead of them going through the PACU, which is the recovery room. We'll receive them, we'll get them hooked up to our machines and our equipment. Once we have them admitted to our unit, at that point, we'll assess them and treat them just as you were in a regular hospital.
Did you extract that from his abdomen? We did.
When a patient comes to our floor, which is the medical surgical floor, they'll either be coming from the recovery room or directly from casualty receiving CASREC. Patient will come in, get settled into bed. A nurse and a technician type will be assigned to these patients, and then they'll receive full nursing care depending upon what they need.
It's come together like we're one family right now, and everybody's doing the same thing.
What you are training on here in the field is exactly what is happening real world.
The Army can't do this alone, and we need to do this in conjunction with the Air Force and the Navy in order to be effective.